Hey guys, it's Disco Spider, and so far this year we haven't gotten that many bad animated movies. Yeah, we had Norm of the North on Ratchet and Clank and Ice Age Collision Course, and those movies were awful. And then we got this movie, which sucked really hard, almost as bad as those animated movies. And everything in this movie is just done so poorly. The characters are just so bland and forgettable, and they all don't have a personality. Heck, even Robinson Crusoe, who is supposed to be the main character here, is just so boring and does not have a personality whatsoever. And then we have the story, which there isn't really a story. It's about Robinson Crusoe. He gets shipwrecked on an island, and that's it. Nothing really happens in the story. It's just him going around doing nothing. And they try having villains in this story. It just seems pointless and just random out of nowhere. It's like these cats just want to get Robinson Crusoe, and it's like, okay. And this movie would have worked a lot better if it was just a slice of life film about Robinson Crusoe. He gets shipwrecked, and it's just him, it's like, without any talking animals. It's just him interacting with the wildlife. You just get rid of the talking animals. That's what I want. And they kind of do something like this, where it's like a slice of life film, except Robinson Crusoe is such a uninteresting and boring character that it just does not work at all. And then we have the animation, which just looks very ugly. The characters, the way they look, just look jarring. They're not so bad, but then when they move, the character movement just looks so ugly, and that's the worst part of the movie, just watching these characters move. And the textures in this movie are fine. They're not, like, awful. And at times, like, the water effects and the rocks, they look pretty good. But just, like, the textures on the animals and the, hair and the clothing on the people don't really look that great. And then there's the colors, which they just look boring and ugly. And then just making the island where Robinson Crusoe gets shipwrecked look bland and just boring and generic. And then one thing I want to mention is the ending for this film. This movie has a lot of climax scenes. There's like scenes where it's like, oh, it's about to end right now, but nope, there's about 10 minutes left. It's like, okay, now it's gonna end now. No, there's 5 minutes left. And then when the movie decides to end, it's like, what? It seems really unfinished, where it's Robinson Crusoe gets taken by some pirates, and then he decides, like, hey, I'm gonna go back to the island. And then the movie just ends on him swimming back to the island. And then the movie just gets lazy, and then like the actual ending scene is just still pictures, and then narrated by the parrot. And it's like, oh yeah, and then a girl gets shipwrecked, and then Robinson Crusoe gets a girlfriend, and it's like, you could have just animated it. Well, actually, no, I would have made the movie way too long. I take that back. So yeah, in short, this movie is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in theaters, and definitely one of the worst animated movies of the decade. I do not recommend this movie at all. I just say, just if you want to see an anime movie, just wait for Storks. I don't know whether or not this movie is gonna be good or bad, but I can say it's gonna be better than this movie, The Wildlife. This movie's just awful. Not as bad as Norm of the North, though. That's still at number 1, or number 12th, I guess. But anyways, yeah, this movie sucks. Don't watch it, please. I'm the Disco Spider, and peace out.